Loaded Pumpkin Pie and Dead People Dirt for Halloween. William Hovey Smith, 2013. Well, I'm the author of Backyard Deer Hunting and also a forthcoming book called Prophet. Now, the Dead People Dirt actually evolved from my work with this book.
This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman, and this is our Halloween edition, obviously. And today I want to tell you about a loaded pumpkin pie and also a new to the world recipe, Dead People Dirt. And I've got it in the oven right now, and you'll see it when I take it out in a little bit. But now, Garrison Keillor, the well-known humorist, often remarked that the worst pumpkin pie was not terribly much different from the best, and he considered pumpkin pie as merely a vehicle for carrying nutmeg. Well, there is some truth in that. But, so what I do is I add some things. Coconut, raisins, walnut, cinnamon, butter, 8 eggs, and a touch of vanilla, salt, and about a cup of sugar substitute in this size bowl. Now this is from a real pumpkin, yeah. Not one of these canned sort of things. No, this is a real pumpkin. Bought at Walmart for all $2.98 yesterday. And this is Halloween, by the way. And so we cooked it up as I have shown you before. Now, in pumpkin pie, you will always have some liquid in it like this. So what you do is you have it where it's about this consistency. Okay, now this you can spoon into your pie shells, and they do well, and it stands. Now there is no flour in pumpkin pie, so consequently these pumpkin pies do not rise. There's nothing in there to make them rise, and they do pretty well as you lay them down. Okay, so that's one more maybe. Okay, so we fill the first shell. Now the second. Now we got a lot of pumpkin here, guys. Now the nice thing about pumpkin pie, or pumpkin pie filling, is I can take this filling and put it in a plastic container and just freeze it, and it does perfectly well. Now pumpkin is also a good and awfully nutritious vegetable. I don't make my pies super sweet. I do add, if I didn't mention, some walnuts in there too. So these are quite nutritious in their content. And I don't use sugar. And I did put in a little maple syrup. So you'll have some very complex flavors in here. There's a touch of mace too.
Now I'll have a written out version of the recipe at the very end of the video.
So, now this makes up for some interesting pumpkin pies. Now about the eggs in here, what I do is I put the eggs in when I make the mix. That is, the mix is boiling on the stove. After I have skinned the pumpkins and mashed up the meat, I put the mix back on the stove. And that's when I add all the ingredients. So all of the ingredients are pre-cooked. And what that does for you, it means you can taste them safely, because there's no raw egg product in this. It's all been brought up to the boiling point and held there for a good long time. So we don't have any raw eggs. Okay. So that way you can eat it. Now we're tasting pumpkin pie. This ought to be a family affair. I mean, you add a little cinnamon in your taste, you add a little nutmeg in your taste, and some salt, a little more sugar. No, that's not right. Well, remember that when you taste the pie mix, it will be concentrated in flavor, because when you bake it, you really drive off the volatile components, this excess water. That's what you do when you bake it. You just drive off the excess water so it concentrates the flavors. So okay, now we have 4 pumpkin pies made, and we have enough here for at least 2 more pies, and that was out of a pumpkin, yeah, more or less like that. So, we will put these aside and let you see what you've really been waiting for. Dead people dirt. Yeah. Brand new to the world. Just today, and you'll see it first. Okay. So we'll put these aside to make some room. Taking care not to drop or spill them along the way. Okay, here it comes, folks. Right hot out of the oven. And there we have it. Dead people dirt. Yeah, it really is. A lady wrote me a letter once upon a time when I had a recipe for bear paw pumpkin soup for Halloween, and she complained that it really contained bear paws. Well, this is dead people dirt in that it is actually from a cemetery. Yeah. This is the sieved fines from my family cemetery plot. I have some previous videos when I show you how I recovered these fines. And what these are doing in the oven is they have been baking at 200 degrees for about 2 hours. And what that is to do is kill all the weed seed. So now what we have is a very heavy media potting soil that has lots of organic material in it, as well as a lot of carbonate content, so it's quite alkaline, and should grow lots of good stuff. Now, why would anybody want or need a heavy media potting soil? Well, if you have a plant in a pot and you plan to keep it that way, and you put that thing outside, it tends to weigh in the breeze like this. And so a heavy media potting soil will keep it from blowing over with a slight breeze. The plant will in fact stay up longer and have less of a tendency to be damaged. Now we have ordered a chemical analysis for this soil just today. So we'll be back and let you know how it does. And we're also going to plant some things in it. Yeah, we're going to see if it actually grows stuff. It ought to. We're going to see what happens to the Roundup that we put in it over the years to kill off the weeds, my family cemetery plot. So among the first things I'm going to be planting in here is a trial of squash plants, because squash are broad leaves, and that is exactly the kind of critter that Roundup's supposed to take out. So squash will grow, yeah, probably just about anything else will grow too. So stay tuned about dead people dirt, soon coming to a gardening store near you. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time.
Among my prize-winning books are Extreme Muzzleloading, Backyard Deer Hunting, Crossbow Hunting, and Practical Bow Fishing. And all of these are available as softcover and e-books. I have an 8-book e-book series on muzzleloading guns coming out with 2013-14, including hunting with muzzleloading revolvers. For more information on my books, blogs, and more than 350 videos, go to my website, www.hoveysmith.com. Now, I also have some of the new Prophet series videos up too. Now, for loaded pumpkin pie, Yeah, you need to start off with about a 14-inch pumpkin and de-seed it, boil it, peel it, drain it, and mash it. And then you start adding the stuffs. A pound coconut, a cup of raisins, chopped up walnuts, a cup of sugar, but hold off putting that in until we boil it. Some maple syrup, also nutmeg, of course, and cinnamon. Now, the nutmeg and cinnamon can be overdone as well as the mace, so be cautious about this. Now, half a teaspoon of salt goes in there for flavor enhancement. A tablespoon of vanilla, 8 large eggs, half pound of butter, and this should fill about 6 deep dish pie shells. Now, break up your pumpkin, remove the seed fibers, remove the skin, mash it up good, and you drain off the ingredients. Now, then you add the dry ingredients except the sugar. And you put the mix in a large pot and bring to boil. Add your eggs and butter and return to boil for about 2 minutes, and then you can taste, and that's when you add the sugar and nutmeg. So you see how much you got in there. Now you add the mix to thicken. You bake until the crust is dark brown. You sprinkle a little nutmeg on top and serve it with whipped cream. And you got it, guy. Loaded pumpkin pie.